Hi, I'm Jacob Adams. I'm a fitness and leadership coach. I help people just like you get to the next level, whether it's in the gym, getting that next personal record, burning body fat, gaining muscle. And here on YouTube, I've been focusing on delivering philosophies, winning mindsets, perspectives to help you get that breakthrough, that next level. Let me ask you something. Have you noticed that in today's society, it's more difficult for a man and woman to come together and stay in a relationship, a monogamous relationship, marriage, and relationships are ending or never starting in breakups, divorces, more than average. Maybe you're seeing that it's harder for men and women to actually be in a long-term relationship, where we're seeing an increase in a hookup culture. Well, I've noticed, or I seem to be seeing it, that's why I'm making the video, right? I have been in about 3 long-term relationships, meaning one lasting about 5 years, one lasting about 2, and the other one lasting about 2 as well. So it's about a total of 9 years or so. It's actually closer to 10, but we'll say it's 9. So I spent about 9 years of my life in and out of some relationships. And yes, in those relationships, I've had great times, great memories, great photos. Definitely had its high points. Otherwise, I would have never been in them, right? And it also had its challenging points, power struggles, jealousies, long distance issues, outgrowing each other, things like that. So stuff that didn't feel so hot. So we all know that there are pros and cons to relationships. That's a standard situation. So it's not to say that pros and cons exist. More so, what we'll continue to get into is that there seems to be this increased tension between men and women in today's society. I'm making this video in Texas, and no matter where you're at, whether you're in Michigan, whether you're in Spain, United Kingdom, Canada, Germany, wherever it is that you are and watching this video, what about you? Have you seen any changes in the world around you as far as relationships between men and women? An increase in hookup culture, a decrease in overall sustainability? It's as if one could say men and women trust each other less and less and less and less and less. So that's the question I have posed for you. Let's just say, if I look at the last relationship I was in, I'll just take a look at the last one I was in. I won't go into all 3. What I saw was that, let's just say, if I take, for instance, Advocare, which is a company that I distribute for. It's the one and only supplement company that I'm signed up to distribute for, and I use products for 7 years. I once took my ex to a place in Dallas, a Success School in Dallas Cowboys Stadium. And Success School was there, and on stage at this event, there was couples there, these great looking couples, very happy looking. And I know it's not all about what we see, but they looked very promising, and they had their stuff going on together. And the couples were there speaking about the hope and how their distributorship had grown and how things were clicking for them. And I'd always wanted that. And I said, so I took my ex at the time, she was my girlfriend, I said, look, that's what I would like. I want something like that. I want that. Now, she wasn't put off to the idea, but within a week or so, some drama ensued, and what was an idea that maybe we'd work this together like a couple just went down the drain. Toxicity ensued, and there goes that. And no matter how hard I did my best to be on the up and up, make Advocare a thing, it never became a thing with us. Now you might say to yourself, well, good for me, I don't care about Advocare. Okay, good for you. That's not the point. Replace Advocare with something, a goal that is truly 100% important to you. Doesn't necessarily mean it's your job. A lot of people hate their jobs. I'm not talking about your job. Because the truth of the matter is, a lot of you would pick your spouse over your job, and that's cool. Oftentimes, though, one of the reasons many of you would do that is because you literally hate your job. I'm not talking about things you hate. I'm talking about something you love, something that you actually want to aspire to be, something that you have a dream to achieve. I'm talking about that. It could be, do you want to get in shape? I'm a trainer. You want to get in shape, right? I talk to people all the time. I know the chances that you want to get in shape are high. You want that. So do you have that? That's what I've done since 2003. Get people in shape. So this situation, the question, the emotions that you're feeling right now, even though you think I can't see you and I can't, even though you feel safe in the comfort of your home and I cannot access you with my eyes, you can only look at me. I know that question feels a certain way. It feels a certain way and makes you look within yourself and say, I do want to be in shape. Now let's say that you're dating somebody or maybe you're married to somebody and they don't care if you get in shape. Now say you really do want to, but they don't care. As a matter of fact, they would like to sabotage you. If you get too in shape, they would prefer you didn't, because now you're sexier and you're sexier. Then you become a threat to them on some level because, now you have more options. People want to look at you and they're going to have to step up their game, right? Because that's the way, this is the dynamics of sexuality, right? Let's talk about that. Let's take a look at that situation. What do you do then? Do you just give up? Do you get in shape and deal with the tension? And if the tension happens, do you work it out and maybe you both get in shape and get closer together, become more intimate? Or maybe some people in that situation say they got in shape, then they start fighting, and then those fights lead to more fights. Sooner or later, they need to not be around each other so much and, they break up. I'm fast forwarding a lot, but I'm only illustrating the thing that I'm going to tell you is this. I have found then that unless a couple is on the same page and supporting each other and has each other's back and is willing to work together to be on that page and just have a backbone of respect and love, and sometimes be quiet when you have nothing good to say to each other. Just at those times, maybe just be quiet and have respect for each other. And I was listening to Elena Cardone's new book, and originally it's called Build an Empire, something like that. And I'll make a review specifically on the book. And she's going into how, originally I wasn't actually going to like this book. I was like, yeah, whatever. But then I was at the car wash listening to it, and she says something, I was like, she gets it. She does get it. And she goes into how, you have friends that talk bad, or you talk bad to about your spouse or your significant other, then you're destroying your relationship. And do you see there? That's a big moment there. If you talk bad about your significant other, meaning not in a joking way, not in oh, they're so dorky or they're so cute, or when they do this dumb thing, or no, I'm talking about a literal derogatory, distasteful condescension where it's just designed to make you feel better and bring the other person down. I'm talking about a real, that was said, and if your spouse was around, they would think, fuck you, pal. You get it? She's saying if you do that, then expect that you are destroying that relationship. She further said, if you're watching trash TV, that you are destroying a relationship, because those ideas are being planted in your head, and then you're later going to have some expectation in your relationship that isn't on the TV, and that's tension and that expectation. You're looking for a bigger, better deal in the outer world, not willing to do the work for the relationship that you're in right now. all that leads to separation. So if you're wanting that, then you're headed on the right road. But if you don't want that, then I sincerely recommend that you look inside, inwardly. Perhaps get her book. Perhaps look to truly understand. There's people that respect traditional ideas enough, like respect, integrity, faithfulness, love, things that are actually of the higher ideals. There's people still out there in the world that are actually still together with their partner because they're actually applying those things. Everyone else, they're like suffering in misery because they don't really want to be in that relationship, but they're sticking it out for Lord knows why. Maybe they want to be alone. Okay? Or maybe one of the persons is feeling abused and the other person's feeling like they're the shit because they're like talking bad about this person or being rude to them or condescending, and one person's feeling great, the other person's in crap. Now you might ask yourself, what does a fitness person or a fitness and leadership coach have to do with it? Well, the thing is, you really can't lead. You really can't perform at your best in the gym if your mind's all fucked up thinking about weird shit like, what is my spouse doing, thinking, writing, who are they talking to? Like, your mind's in all sorts of places. People always ask me why I've been single for now 4 years, and it's like, dude, like, my mind is right here with you on this camera. After this, I have to work out. After that, I have to sell some supplements. After that, I have a class to teach. But you get it. You see how like there's a sequential order to my day. I scheduled this time here in front of you, and I can't have like someone in my life that is not in alignment with that. It just can't happen. Now, the people that are saying to themselves like, oh, well, it must be nice or stuff like that. The only reason you would disagree with me is that you need alignment. You have to be on that same page with someone. Well, that, by the way, that is the secret to actually making it somewhere with somebody, is being on the same page, same value systems, working together, understanding each other, gelling together, making it work. Like respecting each other, having each other's back, like being on the same team. You're a team. Do you know what that is? Have you ever been on a team? Look, I'm not picking on you. I'm saying in general, go back to that idea of revisit what that is. A team. Revisit what that is. Revisit that. And if you are working in a way that is contrary to the alignment of that person, then why would you expect it to work long term? Because that I suppose the only person I could think would expect it to work long term would be an inexperienced person needing wisdom and life lessons, or someone fooling themselves, someone wishing things were different, somebody wishing the human experience was not what it was. Because listen to my solution. Listen to what I'm telling you. I've seen my parents divorce. I've seen people I care about separate with kids. I've seen people, Grant Cardone and Elena Cardone, for example, they're Scientologists. I actually don't like Scientology. I have a distaste for it. And here I am talking about their relationship as a great model. Can you understand that? Can you understand what I just said? I'm saying I don't like their spiritual practices. I question them. I'm looking at it kind of weirdly. But the fruit of their actual work, how they're getting along, they're building an empire, they're having each other's back, they're still flirting with each other, they're working together. That's the fruit. So if the fruit is good, I, in a way, have to retract a little bit and watch what I say, even though I don't want to. Because the people that are, like, let's just say they're super religious, or they're super Christian, or they're super this. And while I agree with their spiritual practice, their fruit is not something I want. The fruit is not something I would want in my life. And therefore, I might question whether they're practicing. I might question whether they get it. I don't know. But do you see what I'm saying? Like, the way I feel right now telling you, the viewer, these things is, it's not new, really. Like, I used to tell one of my first girlfriends, I said, you can't have something traditional like marriage without being a traditional person. You can't. You get it? And think about what my finding is after all these years. Listening to Elena Cardone just today, studying other books by authors with their psychology, talking to counselors, studying, observing, talking, conversation with clients all over, from all over the world, all different races. You know, the centralized theme I'm telling you is be on the same page. Work as a team. If the person you're with has a goal that they've clearly said, this is what I want, and you can see it has value. Maybe you're thinking, oh, it's a lot of work. Okay, well, tough shit. That's you, dude. But if the person has said, I'm willing to put in the work, and you believe them, and they have a track record of putting in work, and you're just going to say, what's a lot of work? I'm going to be a whiny little bitch. Then I would not want to be with you. Does that make sense? Like, people that want the payout, the fruit, are everywhere. That's everywhere. If I make a steak, you're going to want some steak. If you're a meat eater, my steaks are delicious. You're going to want some. But if you didn't even help me prepare the meal, and you just, if I say, hey, you know, hey, what are you doing, Jacob? Oh, I'm making some dinner. And you're like, I'll be right there. Now, I'm a very loving person. That'll be fine with me one day, maybe even twice in a row. But after so many days, maybe 3 days, maybe the fourth day, I'll be like, hey, listen, dude, pitch in a little. Like, where's your part? Oh, why are you just finding out when I make dinner and just wanting to show up? It's kind of weird. You get it? Where it's fine to want the fruit, but without wanting to be there with a person to work with them. Why would that person, and maybe even be dead weight, because some people are not only not helping, but they're actually trying to drag and sabotage other people down. So that's the opposite of being on the same page. If you want to know the opposite of being on the same page, it's being a dead weight or countering. And people seem to think on some level that in today's society, that is somewhat cool, to be this derogatory, ill-spoken, just ungrateful person. Like, I'm not even throwing shade. That's how I would describe my last ex-girlfriend. Not all three. My last one. Derogatory, ungrateful. You know, in her own words, she told me, Jacob, when you left me, I got what I deserved. I just laughed. I mean, I just broke up with her. She says, I got what I deserved. And when she said that, I was like, yeah. It was anticlimactic. I was like, yeah, like whatever. It wasn't when you give someone what they deserve, it's not like you're going to be like, I mean, it wasn't about ego when I did it, when I broke up with her. You get it? But all of these things were present, not being on the same page, but not only that, not being on the same page, but actually like weighing me down. So you might be a woman in the relationship and the guy is weighing you down. Okay, I get it. You guys aren't on the same page, and you're going to have to get on the same page if you're going to want to save that relationship, because this can only go so far before you're taking underwater. And it was somebody I work with, he says, Jacob, say you catch a fish, and say you catch a fish and it's bringing your boat down into the water. He goes, you're going to have to let go of that boat. You're going to have to let go of that fish, or you're going to drown. Or, you know, unless you bring it back up. And that's kind of where you're in if you're not on the same page. You're either going to have to bring the fish onto the boat, metaphorically speaking, if you're going to not drown. Because ultimately, the tensions, the power struggles will lead to a breakup will lead to that. And that's what you need to understand. Don't go with this modern idea that it's okay to have a battle of the sexes and not be on the same team and be all this. Because honestly, after 4 years of being single, that's why I'm not interested in a lot of these single women. It's like some of them have kids and they just want a guy to support them, stuff like that. It's like, do I get a person to work with me and like help build something together? Or do you just want me to raise your kid for you, support for your kid, and I'd be fine without you? Like, do you understand that? It's like, oh yeah, well that, you know, some people say things as boldly as like, you know, they try to use their sex, like get this pussy, and that's the reason that it's okay to, you know, be that way, be like unhelpful, but yeah, you're getting sex. It's like, so it's like, that's the old thinking. That's old thinking. Modern thinking is understanding that traditional thinking has a lot of value to save relationships. So that's the best thing I can tell you, okay? You don't have to listen. You can ignore me and pay the price or just make me wrong. I don't care. These perspectives are perspectives that have been around for centuries. Respect works. Honor works. Team works. That's why we celebrate those things. This is Jacob Adams. Love to hear your thoughts. We'll see you next time. Peace. I'm out of time.